Cats are often perceived as aloof beings, seemingly indifferent to humans except when seeking sustenance and a cozy spot to rest. However, this common perception does not always hold true, as exemplified by the valiant feline protagonist in this tale. Residing in a quaint countryside village nestled within Russia's Kaluga region, Vladimir had forged a deep bond with his cherished hometown and the enchanting woodland enveloping it. Since his early days, he had been captivated by the allure of the forest, perpetually unveiling new wonders concealed within its depths. Among these discoveries, he stumbled upon an abandoned railway that meandered through a section of the woods. The disused tracks, now obscured by rampant vegetation, beckoned Vladimir, compelling him to embark on regular hikes along their nostalgic path. On a radiant and picturesque day, Vladimir felt an irresistible urge to reconnect with the forsaken railway tracks. The sun's gentle rays beckoned him, promising a delightful stroll amidst the verdant woods. Equipping himself with a modest picnic, he ventured into the forest, eager to immerse himself in the embrace of nature. Unbeknownst to him, this seemingly ordinary day would etch a profound mark on the tapestry of his existence, forever altering his life's trajectory. As Vladimir ventured along the meandering train tracks, his thoughts wandered freely, allowing him to absorb the tranquil panorama surrounding him. However, an unexpected occurrence interrupted his reverie. A fleeting shadow whisked through the dense foliage, igniting a flicker of concern that it could be a wolf or another predatory creature. Instantly, Vladimir halted in his tracks, intensifying his scrutiny of the encompassing trees. The elusive figure materialized once more, but its diminutive size ruled out the possibility of a perilous wild beast, leading him to surmise it might be a playful squirrel. Confirming his observation, the creature sported a bushy tail, indicative of its species. With a sense of reassurance, Vladimir opted to resume his expedition. Yet, after progressing a short distance along the tracks, Vladimir detected an exceedingly peculiar development. It appeared as though the enigmatic shadow trailed his path, maintaining a cautious distance. Piqued by the curiosity surrounding this mysterious entity, Vladimir resolved to pause and endeavor to draw nearer to it. Initially, the man attempted to beckon the animal with a gentle voice, hoping for a response. The creature paused, remaining within the shelter of the trees. Proceeding cautiously, Vladimir inched forward, gradually discerning the identity of his pursuer. It was a cat, its fur unkempt and weathered, hinting at abandonment. Being an ardent animal lover, Vladimir couldn't bear the thought of leaving the stray feline to fend for itself in the woods. Aware of the lurking predators that could pose a threat to the defenseless cat, he resolved to approach it. Calling out to the wary feline, he endeavored to instill trust and coax it towards him. However, when he drew within a few feet, a startling revelation seized his attention. Vladimir realized the cat was female, evident from the swollen milk ducts indicating she had a litter of kittens nearby. Overwhelmed by the revelation, he attempted to draw nearer, but in a sudden twist, the feline dashed away, retreating further along the tracks. But instead of leaving Vladimir for good, the cat stopped and turned around as if waiting for the man to follow it. Interested in what the cat wanted, Vladimir started walking down the train tracks again, in the same direction that the feline was going. The duo walked for a few minutes before Vladimir suddenly started to hear something strange. It sounded like a baby's cry, and he was getting closer to it. Finally, the cat seemed to stop and jump down in between the rails. Before curling up into a ball, Vladimir slowly walked closer to the animal, only to see that it had cuddled up with her litter of 3 kittens and astonishingly a baby. The man was very confused and concerned. Why was this baby in the woods who had left it there? How long had it been on its own with no one but the cat and her babies to look after it? While these thoughts rushed through his mind, Vladimir quickly rushed over to where the cat was lying to get a better look at the young child. But as he tried to pick the baby up, the cat started to hiss. It seemed as if the feline had begun to care for the baby, as if it were one of her own kittens. Not knowing what to do, Vladimir sat back and simply observed the unusual family. The man knew that he had to get to the baby somehow, as it would not survive on its own for much longer, but the mama cat didn't want to let him close. It was at this point that the man remembered the food in his backpack. The mama cat looked quite thin, and since she had to care for 3 little ones, she was bound to be hungry. Maybe he could gain her trust by offering her some food. Vladimir carefully took the bag off of his bag so as not to frighten the weary mama cat and took out the chicken sandwich that he had made for himself. Instantly, the mama feline perked up at the sight and smell of the food. Vladimir took a piece of chicken off of the bread and slowly made his way forward until he was only a few feet away from the animal. The man softly called out, encouraging the cat to take the meat. Hesitantly, the mama stood up and sniffed at the piece of food being offered to her. She then cautiously took the meat from the man's hand and ate it in one bite. With the food all gone, the shabby kitty outed Vladimir and bumped his hand as if to ask for some more. Vladimir laughed and fed her some more chicken. After a few more bites, the cat seemed to have warmed up to the man and began purring at him whilst asking for some love. Vladimir happily obliged and began to stroke the cat with the mama feline seemingly trusting him now. Vladimir decided to try and reach for the baby again. This time the cat simply watched as Vladimir picked the young child up. As soon as the man had the baby in his arms, the child stopped crying and looked up at him. Now that he was closer, Vladimir could see that the baby was a little girl and that she couldn't be more than a few weeks old. Shocked by the fact that someone could just leave a helpless baby all by itself, Vladimir checked the child over to make sure that she was okay. Thankfully, apart from a few little scratches and bruises, the baby appeared to be in good health. The man stood back up and began to make his way back along the rails when he heard a meow. Turning to look, Vladimir saw that the mama cat was watching him. The man then looked at the animal and her babies and knew that he couldn't leave them to fend for themselves either. He made his way back towards the felines and bent down to stroke the mama cat again. With gentle reassurance, he comforted the mother cat, vowing assistance for her and her young. Tenderly placing a kitten in his backpack, he repeated the process until all were safely tucked away, the watchful mama by his side. Vladimir called softly to her and embarked on the journey back to his village. The mama cat faithfully followed, and upon arrival, he swiftly settled them into his home. Urgently, he brought the baby to the nearby hospital, sharing the remarkable tale. The amazed doctor examined the child, mostly healthy but dehydrated and hungry. Vladimir inquired about her fate, learning she'd entered foster care while authorities sought her mother, potentially leading to adoption. Expressing gratitude, Vladimir thanked the doctor and requested to be contacted if the child became available for adoption. Returning home, he discovered the cat and her kittens had already settled comfortably in his living room. Determined to ensure their well-being, Vladimir took them to the local veterinarian for a thorough examination. Once given a clean bill of health, he brought the mother cat, whom he named Mystique, and her offspring back to his abode. Months later, Vladimir received a life-changing phone call. No relatives had emerged for the baby girl he had found, and she was ready for adoption. Without hesitation, Vladimir promptly expressed his desire to adopt her. After completing the necessary legal formalities, he joyfully became the proud father of an incredible little girl. Finally, the child was reunited with her remarkable surrogate mother, and their extraordinary bond thrived once more. What do you think about this story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you liked this video. Please share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.